So this will be the start of a Goonstation tutorial. When you load into Goonstation, this will be what you're met with. You've got your options, your chat, your little UI area, and up here you've got your options, I guess. Over here you've got your help. So if you need admin help or mentor help, you can get it right here. You've got your audio options if something's too loud. You've got your game options, your display options, and lastly the file tab for screenshotting and whatnot. Regardless, so what do you do when you load in? I'll tell you what you're going to do. The first thing you want to do is create your character. So when you click the character setup button, you're met with this nice little screen. And all this is going to be random. So you're just going to go through this UI. It's pretty, self-explanatory, but I'll go through it anyway. So you've got your name, your gender, your pronouns, age, blood type, your bank PIN, flavor text, security note, and medical note. Now, the first four, not even, the first three are going to be what basically you see every round. Your age is not going to matter. There's like 2 or 3 things in game that'll care about your age. Your blood type, I'm pretty sure there's only one thing that matters for your blood types. This one doesn't really matter. I have mine on A+, because, yeah. And then your bank PIN. This is pretty useful. If you have it as random, you can check your notes, which I'll show you how to do when you get in game. But yeah, that's useful for accessing money, fake money, in-game money, And then your flavor text. The flavor text, if somebody examines you, it'll say that. And then your security note, medical note, is if somebody looks up your security or medical records, they'll see that in there. So for security note, you could put like highly dangerous arrests on site. That'd be pretty funny. Now over here, you've got from the general tab, we go over to appearance. You can you can choose how your character looks. And of course, the fart sounds. This is very important. Some of them. And your scream. There's also a chat sound. Over here, you can pick your job selections. This is really important. So this is my security save. So I have security officer as my favorite job, and then a bunch of other ones. For a new player, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I would recommend AI, miner, botanist, or rancher. Maybe not rancher, maybe botanist, or where is it? Janitor. Those are some really good new player roles. Now, the AI, I personally think it's a really good new player role, but other people might not. I will make a tutorial on how to play AI here in a little bit, and you'll see what I mean. So, this only matters for round start. Since I'll be late joining 17 minutes into this round, I will actually be able to pick a job from all the open slots. Anyways, over here is your antagonist roles. If you want permission to be an evil person, this is where you'd get it. By checking these, there is a chance, a very small chance, that whenever you join a round, you will be an antagonist. The game will tell you, it will be very obvious. You'll get a giant pop-up, it'll tell you in chat, and you might have special abilities. If you're not an antagonist, you should not start fights or do any crime really. Keep it to a minimum, So check these if you wanna have a chance at being a crimer. However, I will warn you, if you are an antagonist, people will be able to kill you. Just because, at least on Goon 1 and 2. Now, past occupation, you've got your traits. I'm not going to go through all these just because there's a lot, but you get to pick what you want. And then you've got your game settings. Personally, you should change your HUD to classic, because that's the best HUD color. And I'm not saying this because I lost a fight to an admin over a year ago. It's just the best. It's the best HUD color, so you should use classic. Other than that, you can, if you have like a special keyboard, a lot of options here. Make sure you save your character when you're done, and then you're ready to join a round. Oh, this menu right here. After every round that you complete, you'll be awarded a certain amount of space bucks depending on your job, if you escaped, if you survived, if you completed your objectives, etc. So I have a lot, but you won't have any when you first start. Then you can get some stuff that doesn't actually help you, which just looks cool. It's all cosmetic. Yeah, so that's what that menu is. So once you've got your character set up, you're ready to join a round. Alright, so once you're ready to join a round, I'm going to go ahead and pick Staff Assistant here, just because I'm going to go over all the controls and that'll take a little bit. So once you load in, as you can see, the game will sometimes give you objectives in your chat. They're optional. Make sure you know that. That's why optional is bold. It's just, if you don't know what to do, it's a place to start. It's the same thing if you're an antagonist. They'll give you special antagonist objectives, and you can do them if you want. It's just a place to start. So, controls. WASD is to walk around. And you've probably noticed you've got this giant HUD under here. So the top bar, if you click this green inventory button, or V is the hotkey for clicking this, it will hide this top bar and take up less of your screen. But this is all of what you're wearing, this thing up here. So I've got my shoes, you can kind of see them on my character. Shoes. My ID, which you wear on your chest right there, which also lets you open up doors that you have access to. You've got your jumpsuit, which your jumpsuit is really special. If you're not wearing a jumpsuit, most of the other stuff you can't wear. So notice if I take my jumpsuit off, I drop everything except for my shoes and my radio. So every slot will clear out if you don't have a jumpsuit, because that's where you put everything on, you know? Except for your outer suit, glasses, and headgear, and shoes. But your pockets, your belt, and your ID, they'll all fall off if you take your jumpsuit off. So make sure you keep that on. Then you've got your radio. Now this is like an outer suit, so if you want to wear armor, you've got your glasses slot, your mask slot, and your hat slot. Now these two right here, these are both of your pockets, and this is your belt if you want to wear a belt or put something on your belt slot, such as a crowbar over here. I can put that in either of these slots. Now, you're probably wondering, what am I doing right here? What are these slots? These are your hands. Now, this game is special in that you only control one hand at a time. So the hand that's highlighted right here, I'm using my right hand. So if I go over to something and pick it up, it goes in my right hand. Now, if I were to try to click something else when I still have my right hand selected, it actually uses this item on whatever I'm clicking in. So I've just put both of these things in this red toolbox. Now, if I wanted to take them out, and I click the thing, it would drop. This is just how things with inventories work. It'll drop the thing and take out what you clicked on. If I wanted to keep holding this, I would switch hands, which the hotkey to do that on default controls is E. So pressing E will switch your active hand. Now there's a couple other things on here. You've got your abilities. So if I had any genetic traits, they'd be showing, and if I wanted them to hide because they're blocking something, I could click that to make them go away. Right here I've got my character stats. So this is all a bunch of information that probably doesn't make much sense, but this shows how much damage these show how much damage I'll take from heat and cold. So I'm 20% resisted. Radiation, I have no radiation resistance. Disease resistance, now this is an interesting one. Back a few years ago, you were able to make pathogens. Now they're all completely gone, so this stat literally does not matter unless they for some reason get brought back in the next few years. Now you've got your explosion resistance, your range protection, body protection, head protection, disorient, and your stun protection. So I've got not much. Anyways, in your backpack. So you start with a backpack, which will always have a trinket. This round I started with this hat. It's a cool hat. I like it. Um, to open up anything with an inventory, while you have it, you click on it, or you can click drag it to your character. So if I click and hold on the backpack and drag it to my character, it would open it up. So you can see that happening there. So if I wanted to look in this box without holding it, I can click drag it to my character to see what's inside of it, or this toolbox, or back to my backpack. So you can keep a thing to keep in mind is you can only look in one thing that has an inventory at a time. So if I wanted to take something from this box and put it in my backpack, I can click drag to make it a lot easier without actually grabbing the box. So when you spawn in, you'll be in the arrival shuttle, which is this thing I've been walking around. You're not allowed to do anything to the arrival shuttle, antagonist or not. This is like one of the only things you have to follow as an antagonist. No no doing anything to the arrival shuttle. Oh, Blargent Bilbies. So this right here, it's funny that this happened. Admins can actually whisper to you. So it says you hear a voice in your head. Blargent Bilbies. So you can actually respond to them if you go up to the commands tab and press pray. Let's see which admin this one was. Captain Bravo. There we go. That's a good response. Anyways, so V puts things in your bag. It's the hotkey to do that. So if I want to put this in my bag really quick without using my mouse, I can just hold it, and while it's in my hand, I press V. V presses this button, which what this button does, if I were to click it, automatically tries to equip something to anywhere it can go. So it'll default to your belt slot unless you're wearing a belt. Then it'll go to your pockets. If it can't do there, it'll do your bag. So it's clicking this swaps out my oxygen tank with this crowbar, and pressing V will swap that. If I were to wear a belt, it would go in my pockets or the backpack. Oh, yeah, you'll have to forgive me. I've got what is this? Rainbow Six Siege notifications on. It's awful. So those are your basic controls. Down here, you've also got your run and walk intent buttons, which the hotkey to change run and walk. So notice I go a little faster while running. You can also shift to sprint. But the hotkey to toggle this is minus, or the minus underscore button next to 0 on your keyboard. Then you've got your resist, so you can block certain items like your backpack you can block with to get special cool things. Like blocking with a backpack is better than blocking with nothing, and it actually works better if there's stuff in a backpack. So the hotkey for that is Z. If you block on a chair, you'll actually stand on it. You can chair slam someone. Down here, you've got the rest and stand up button, which the hotkey for this is the plus or equals button. Now, what I've actually done is I've gone up to modify keybinds, and I have changed it to where is it? I've changed my rest / lay down key to F. Now, fart is default as F, and fart is a very useful hotkey, so I would recommend changing fart over to G. But then G is also a hotkey to toggle in and out of this command bar area at the bottom, which the command bar is basically useless because back in the day, this game's like 20 years old, the command bar was used for a lot of stuff, but now everything you can do with other things, not the command bar. So you don't need the command bar really. But yeah, rebind, I don't know, the command bar key to something else. Everything needs to be bound to something when you press save. So what did I rebind it to? Something. Not sure. But yeah, I've got fart as G because fart is a very, very useful keybind. Now right here is your pull. So you can click this and it'll pull something on the ground. If there's multiple things near you on the ground, pressing pull will pull up a menu and you can pick something. The hotkey to do this is if you hold down control and you click something, it will also drag something or pull it. You can also click this button to unpull. Or you can, if you want to do it with a hotkey not coming down to the button, you can just control click off into the distance and that'll also unpull it. Now the last thing, this right here, this is your throw button. Now because this HUD is old, it's actually split into two parts. If you click the top half of this, it'll toggle it on, and the bottom half is to toggle it off. Or you can just click the top button. It's a little weird, but that's how it works. The hotkey to throw is holding down space. So if I were to grab this and hold down space, I can click somewhere and it'll throw right to where I click. Now if it's a heavy item and I go to throw it, I'm not sure if this is a heavy item, it won't go as far. Yeah, door was in the way. Yeah, see, it didn't go quite to where I clicked. It landed about halfway. So those are all the buttons. Now down here you've got your intents. Now the intents down here are split into 4. In the top left, you've got your help intent. In the top right, disarm. In the bottom left, grab. And in the bottom right, harm. So we'll start with help intent. The reasons you'd be on help intent, or if you wanted to push past something, notice when I walk into this monkey, we're both on help intent, so I go right past it. If I was on any other intent, I push it instead. Also, a lot of things they have a different they work differently if you use them on help intent, such as a stun baton. If you use a stun baton on harm intent, it flips around and you'll hit yourself unless you turn it off. But then it'll do. We'll get there when we get there. Anyways, on disarm intent, I'm not actually going to disarm this monkey because it'll get mad. Actually, you know what? We'll fight a monkey. So it has a baseball bat. So the baseball bat is a pretty good weapon, and it dropped it. So, oh, it knocked me over. It's okay. This monkey is going to. Maybe I'm going down. Oh no. So notice I shoved it over and I stole its weapon. Oh. Alright, it's beating me up. Oh no. Anyways, that's what disarm will do. It'll knock their weapon out. And yeah, this monkey is angry. It's okay. It's scared now. See, I've clearly won that fight. Monkey didn't know what came at it. Ignore me dying up here. So that's how the health system works. If you notice during that fight, I went down in health as the monkey was hitting me, and now that I'm crit, I am no longer breathing, and I'm taking oxygen damage, which will slowly build up until I take enough damage and die. So I'm going to go over to this med kit and heal up. So this analgesic pill that I just ate, it'll slowly heal brute damage, which I've just taken a ton of because the monkey hit me a lot. And then these styptic powder patches also heal brute. You can tell because the damage is pink over here, and you see the oxygen damage I've been building up, which is blue, over in the chat here. And then I can apply these patches to also heal up some brute damage. So hopefully once I get below -0 and back into the positives, I will start breathing again, and I'll lose the oxygen damage. The epinephrine helps when you're shallow crit, which is when you're still standing but you're crit, around there. I might be medium crit now, but you can see I've gone into cardiac failure and shock. Hopefully I will heal up. But that's how the health system works. You've got brute damage for when you get punched, burn damage for if you get burned, toxin damage for like poison and radiation, and suffocation damage for when you can't breathe or your crit. And there we go. I'm back on red. Oh, maybe there's no air in here. So when there's no air, you need to put on your emergency oxygen tank into any of these slots, wear a mask that lets you use it, and then up here you can equip it. So these are your abilities. I've got the toggle PDA flashlight ability because my PDA has a built-in flashlight. Not all of them do, but most of them do. And I've got my toggle emergency tank valve that I get from this thing right here. And I'm able to use it because I'm wearing a breath mask. So back to the intents, I've also got the grab intent, which I'm going to grab this guy who is AFK. He's logged out. You can see that because he's staring blankly into space. So if I grab him, he follows me. I can upgrade the grab. And if I do it again, it does this. And if that bar finishes, I would choke him. So to drop anything, including a grab, you just press Q. So Q will drop things. Or you can throw it. That works too. So if I were to grab this guy, I could throw him. But Q is just how you set things down. And then another thing. Some things, when you hold them, if I were to click this, it opens up its inventory and I can see the things inside of this toolbox. The hotkey to click this instead, so if I set my mouse down and just use my keyboard, I can open it up by just pressing C. C will click the item in your active hand for you. So for this radio, if I click it, it pulls up this menu. If I click C, it also pulls up the menu. It's another useful hotkey, but that's a lot of hotkeys. So to recap, we've got Q to drop things, C to click the item in your hand, E to swap hands, space to throw things, and I think that's it. Oh, V to equip things. So those are the basic hotkeys, the most important ones. Everything else, you can just click the buttons on your HUD. And then down here you've got the harm intent, which is used for beating people. Next to your combat intentions, you've got your targeting intentions. This is useful for 3 or 4 things. Surgery, hitting people, so I can target them in the head or limbs, chest, whatever. Or the katana. With the katana, if you hit someone with it, it'll cut off whatever limb you're targeting. And if you cut off all their limbs and you hit them again, you can target their head to cut their head off. It's a pretty cool weapon. Very strong. 5 clicks to kill someone. And yeah, that's all that comes to mind, or that's all that I can think of off the top of my head that uses these intentions, but it's just a thing to keep in mind. So over here we've got the chat. As you can see, everything I've done has had a good chat log, so it's always good to keep an eye on the chat. The radio is the screen text, and it shows the channel that it's been on. 1459, the green channel, is general. These blue ones shows who's been arriving. These red ones are combat messages. This is just a badge someone earned. And yeah. So, this is your chat. See, this person named Flea needs this door open, so they're asking the AI to open up. Now, you may have noticed I've got a couple things that'll highlight automatically for me. So, AI, it's useful to know if somebody's calling the AI to do something, because the AI can do a lot. So, I have the AI as a highlight string. These are all of mine. This is another character I play, so I know if somebody's calling my name. Feed, it can catch my eye if somebody's trying to force feed me something. The AI, voice in. So if you go back to when the admin, where was that? Right here. You hear a voice in your head. That was how I noticed the admin was messaging me, because I saw this highlight string. Drools, these are all just things that I like to look out for. Not that important, but that's how you do that, and that's what you've been seeing, these highlight in chat. You can also edit your font, theme, display, highlight string, chat log. So if you want to save a chat log for the future, you can do that through here. And you've got all these commands and stuff up here. So in the local tab, these are just the local abilities you can do. You get this tab when when you spawned in as a player or something. So I can see my inventory, which is just literally this button right here. Does the same thing up here. I can pull things from up here. Pulls up the list, so I can either pull this or this. I can pick up something. I can message someone with my PDA, which would be the same as if I right-clicked it and did PDA say. That's what this does. I can give this guy the thing I'm holding. Of course, he's AFK, so he won't be able to accept it. I can examine something near me. Eject the pen from my PDA. Or eject the ID from my PDA. So if you'll notice, you spawn in with an ID in your PDA. A cool trick that it's good to know. You can take your ID, put it in your PDA, and then wear the PDA. And then it'll act like you're wearing your ID. So I can still open these doors. Whereas if I wasn't wearing my ID, I would not be able to open these doors. So that's just a cool thing you can do to free up your belt slot from your PDA. And then over here in the commands tab, there's a lot of them. Most of them aren't that useful, but I will go over what each of them do. So for add note, you get to note something, write something down. So if I mind slave someone and wanted to know who they were, I could write down their name and then save it for later. And then there's also a notes button. I can check those notes. So right here, I've got the note I just left for myself, and then it also shows me my objectives and any other important information. You can see the change log from here. So the badges you saw, the yellow text in the chat, some of these badges will award rewards. So you can claim your rewards from here. Now, oh, they want to fight. I guess we'll end this off on a fight. So, yeah, we'll fight Von Moon, Captain Bravo, and we'll see how this ends. Oh, maybe he's spawning in. Yep, there he is. Lily Palmer is who we're going to be fighting. So you can press T to talk and Y to use the radio. So clearly this person wants to fight. So we're going to do what anyone would do when faced with a fight in the ring, and strip. That's just how you play. So as soon as this bell gets rung, we're going to go. So I'm going to use these skills, mostly harm intent. So I'm right now using the harm intent special ability so that I can get some quick jabs off on this person. So the goal of fights in this game is to click without being clicked. And the cool thing about the harm intent special ability is that I don't actually have to click him. I can just click off into the distance, and if he's on that tile, it'll hit him, which is what I'm doing right now. So if I land more hits, hopefully he'll go down first. Like we saw with that monkey. The monkey got me down first. Sorry, I'm not talking much because I am trying not to lose this. It would be kind of embarrassing if I lost a fight while making a tutorial, you know? So now that we're low, I can just click him, and he's slowed down because of damage. Or it's a she. And there we go. They're knocked down.